how are you doing? Your friend Book Teddy is back with a new video. Before starting this video, I would just like to tell that I come up with new videos every Wednesday and every Sunday. So please subscribe to my channel, and in order not to miss any of the videos, please hit the bell icon below. On 5th August, the world witnessed a huge event. Crores and crores of Indians across the world celebrated it as a festival. They made sweets, they lighted diyas, they performed worship. But why? Because it was bhoomipujan, or worship of the land, for the construction of grand Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. But why? Why is Ram considered a huge deity in India? Because he symbolized dharma, the right way of life, and he told his subjects to live by dharma, or the right way of life. Ramayana is the epic which tells us about the story of Ram across his life. It is written by so many people in so many languages, across many dialects, across different geographies. So there are multiple stories, there are multiple characters, there are so many inter stories and sub stories. So today I'm not going to give you a book review. Instead, I'm going to tell you some less heard stories from Ramayana. So let's start. This is the story of Lakshman, who is younger brother of Ram. Ram, his wife Sita, and Lakshman go in exile to a forest called Dandakaranya. Now, Dandakaranya is the most dangerous forest. There are wild animals, there are demons, and the most dangerous creatures live in that forest. Now, Lakshman feels very protective of his brother and his wife, and he's very afraid that when he's protecting them at night, he might sleep and something bad may happen. So he prays to Nidra Devi, who is goddess of sleep, to not to come to him. Now, Nidra Devi tells him that she cannot do that. She has to go to everybody. But seeing his devotion, she tells him that somebody else must sleep on his behalf. He suggests that his wife Urmila, who is living in Ayodhya, can sleep on his behalf. So Nidra Devi goes to Urmila and asks for her permission. Urmila readily agrees and says that she will sleep on her husband's behalf. So Urmila sleeps for 14 years. In the night she sleeps for herself, and in the day she sleeps for her husband. And Lakshman does not sleep for 14 years. He is so devoted to his brother that he does not sleep a wink for 14 years for protecting him. And Urmila is so devoted to her husband that she agrees to sleep and waste 14 years of her life. This story of devotion definitely moves me. The second story is of Ahiravan. Ahiravan is different from Ravan. Ravan is the demon king who is fighting Ram. Okay, and Ahiravan is brother of Ravan, and he is the king of Patal Lok, or the Netherlands, or the land below our land. Okay, so when Ravan is losing to Ram and he's losing the battle, he requests Ahiravan to do something about it. Now, Ahiravan is a king of illusion. He can take, or he can disguise in any form, and he can take anybody's looks, or he can copy anybody. Now, he's very good at it. So he decides that he will disguise somebody and trick Ram and Lakshman to go into Patal Lok. He disguises as Vibhishan and takes them below the ground to his kingdom and captures them. They cannot leave the Netherlands. When Hanuman, who is the devotee of Ram, comes to know about this, he becomes furious. He takes a very little form and goes inside the ground to rescue his lord. Now, when he goes to the Netherlands, he fights a lot of enemies and finally reaches a place where he finds there is a big palace of Ahiravan. Now, when Hanuman is fighting with this demon king, he's not able to kill him. Any number of blows he is giving him, fighting him, doing so many things, but he is not able to kill the demon king. The demon king is standing there doing ha ha ha. Hanuman wonders what is the reason behind this. Then he comes to know that there are 5 flames inside the palace, and first all those 5 flames needs to be extinguished, and then only he'll be able to kill the demon king. So he goes to put them off. He blows off the first one and moves on to the second flame. When he's trying to put off the second flame, the first flame comes up. Same is the case with second and the third flame. So it's like magical candles. You try to blow them off, they come up again. You try to blow them off, they come up again. So Hanuman starts wondering what is the magic behind them. So these are magical flames, and he comes to know that they are extinguished when all of them are blown off at the same time. That is the point when Hanuman gets all the knowledge and he grows 5 heads. So when we pray to Panchmukhi Hanuman, this is the story behind Panchmukhi Hanuman. He grows 5 heads, he extinguishes all the 5 flames, and he kills Ahiravan, rescues his lord, and goes back to his land. And finally, Ram kills Ravan. So the third story is of Hanuman and his version of Ramayana. So when everything is good and when Ram Rajya is established, then Hanuman decides that he will also write a version of his Ramayana. So he goes to a cave and with his fingernails, okay, with his fingernails, he carves out of stone and writes his own version of Ramayana. When people come to that cave and read his version of Ramayana with happiness and with joy, tears come to people's eyes. Lot of word of mouth spreads and a lot of people start coming and reading the Ramayana. So one day, sage Valmiki, who has written the original version of Ramayana, he decides that let me also go and see what he has written, right? So, fellow writer competitors. So he goes and reads. And when he reads Hanuman's version of Ramayana, he is dumbstruck. He feels that his work is worthless and he starts crying. When he starts crying, Hanuman comes and asks him, what is the reason? Why are you crying? He says that you have written such a beautiful text, you have written such an immense, powerful text that nobody will read my version. So I just go and tear it up. Hanuman is moved by the plight of the sage and he says that you don't worry. I will destroy my work so that everybody will read your work. Because I have written it not to gain any popularity. I am Bhakt or I am devotee of Sri Ram and I have written this out of love. But I don't need this to show my love to the Lord. So I will destroy this and everybody will read your Ramayana. That is why he destroys his Ramayana and nobody knows where Hanuman Ramayana is. So the next story is of sage Narad and Hanuman. So when finally the Ram Rajya is established, everybody is happy in the kingdom. There is a lot of prosperity and happiness, and there is a lot of festivities which is going on. At that time, Ram calls for a huge gathering, and a lot of people come to his darbar. Sage Narad also comes to see the darbar. And when Sage Narad comes, now a lot of people know that Sage Narad is a great singer and he plays the musical instrument Veena very well. So Lord Ram asks Sage Narad to sing for everybody. Now Narad, comes to the stage and he sees the gathering, the audience. And when he sees the audience, he sees a lot of vanar or monkeys and normal common people. Now he is a person who sings for the gods. He thinks I sing for the gods. Why should I, sing for these common normal folk and even the monkeys? So he does not feel like singing and he tells Ram that no, I won't sing for this audience. Now Ram is a little taken aback, but he says okay. Then he asks his devotee Hanuman to sing. A lot of us don't know, but Lord Hanuman is a great singer too. When he starts singing, everybody is mesmerized. They lose all sense of being. They lose sense of time, they lose sense of their body, and they are just into the song. Even sage Narad loses a sense of time and being. And when the singing stops, he finds that his veena is stuck in the stone. So he starts wondering, how come this veena is stuck in the stone? Then he realizes that when Hanuman was singing, the stone on which the veena was kept melted because even the stone didn't know how to keep its form when the song was going on. Even the stone was mesmerized. And when the singing stopped, the stone came back to its original form. Seeing this, the sage Narad, paid his obeisance to Lord Hanuman, and he says that you are the greatest singer in the world. So the final story is of Lord Hanuman. One day he was sitting and he saw that Mata Sita is putting vermilion on her forehead, sindoor on her forehead. A lot of married women do that in India for safety and long life of their husband. So he also asked her, why did she do that? She told, because she wanted her husband to be happy, healthy, and safe. So when Hanuman hears that, and being such a big devotee of Sri Ram, he takes vermilion from her and applies it all over his body. When Lord Ram sees this, he asks, why did he do that? So Lord Hanuman replies, for your safety and for your well-being, I can put sindoor all over my body all my life. Seeing his devotion, Lord Sri Ram gives him the name Bajrang Bali, where Bajrang means orange or saffron, which is the color of sindoor. And that is the reason Lord Hanuman is even today all across the world worshipped with sindoor. The devotees take sindoor and apply it all over the idol just to memorize this event in the life of Lord Hanuman and Sri Ram. So today's video was a little different. It was not a review but some unheard stories from the great epic Ramayana. Have you heard of those stories before? Did you like them? So if you like them, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I come up with videos every Wednesday and Sunday. So till I come up with the next video, guys, please take care and bye-bye.